Ukrainian frontline troops have once again demonstrated their resilience and tactical aggression, launching a daring assault that forced them into close-quarters combat with entrenched Russian forces. In a recent engagement, Ukrainian soldiers advanced under fire and stormed a Russian defensive ditch, eliminating enemy positions in an intense, high-risk operation.
На 12.
According to battlefield reports, the Russian position had been fortified within a narrow trench system designed to provide cover from artillery and drone surveillance. Such ditches, often reinforced with earthworks and camouflage, can be difficult to neutralize without direct engagement. Rather than relying solely on indirect fire, Ukrainian units opted for a rapid ground assault to dislodge the defenders. The attack began with suppressive fire aimed at limiting Russian visibility and movement. Small infantry teams then maneuvered toward the trench line, using terrain and timing to close the distance.
Парни, будете жить, зачем умирать?
Выходите! Пацаны, не стреляйте!
Once at the ditch, Ukrainian soldiers entered the confined space, where the fight quickly escalated into close combat. Inside the trench, visibility was limited and reaction time was critical. Soldiers relied on grenades, short bursts from rifles, and coordinated movement to clear each section. The tight environment reduced the effectiveness of long-range weapons, shifting the advantage to those with better coordination and composure under pressure. Witness accounts suggest the engagement was brief but intense. Ukrainian troops systematically moved through the ditch, neutralizing resistance and securing the position. The success of the assault highlights both the training and morale of the attacking force, as well as the risks associated with trench warfare that has become a defining feature of the conflict.
Хто 300-й?
Military analysts note that such operations are among the most dangerous a soldier can undertake. Close combat in trenches removes many technological advantages and places emphasis on discipline, teamwork, and individual decision-making. However, when successful, these assaults can break defensive lines and create opportunities for further advances.
Окей, аккуратно тут кидай.
The incident underscores the evolving nature of the battlefield, where modern technology like drones and precision weapons coexists with tactics reminiscent of earlier eras.
Сука, горяча. Ой-ой-ой. Сука.
As the conflict continues, both sides are adapting, but engagements like this reveal that control of territory often still comes down to soldiers fighting at extremely close range.
Контроль 12!
While details remain limited, the outcome represents a tactical gain for Ukrainian forces and a reminder of the brutal realities faced by troops on both sides.
Окоп справа, тут зачистили нет? Не, узнаю.
The human element, courage, fear, and determination remains central in a war increasingly defined by both innovation and raw, close-quarters combat. Here, Ukrainian forces have started shifting the tide and are now capturing ground faster than Russia.
Быстрее, мужики, выходи!
With hundreds of square kilometers liberated, the Ukrainian push takes village after village, and the Russians are on the verge of being kicked out of the Dnipropetrovsk region altogether. The Ukrainian forces regained the initiative, with operational updates stating that only a handful of small settlements in the region remain contested. Most of the previously Russian-controlled territory has already been retaken after several weeks of sustained Ukrainian counterattacks along the border of the region.
Кидай гранату. Ще одну.
The operation, led by Ukrainian air assault units and reinforced by mechanized brigades and assault regiments, reflects a coordinated effort to force the Russian forces into reactive defense, leaving them with nothing stopping the Ukrainian advance.
На. Ще, Бетмен. Є? Є?
The offensive itself has unfolded in clearly structured phases, with the first stage focused on breaking the outer layer of Russian positions, anchored around Ternov, Kalinivsky, and Berezov. Ukrainian assault units, including the Skelya Regiment, confirmed the clearing and liberation of Ternov, marking an early breakthrough that destabilized nearby Russian positions, exposing them to direct attacks.
Право дивися, блядь.
In Berezov, Ukrainian forces established control over the northern part of the settlement, gradually pushing Russian units further back while maintaining constant pressure through infantry assaults supported by drones.
Тихо, не стріляйте. Да, непонятно.
At the same time, a parallel push resulted in the clearing of Kalinivsky, which became a critical foothold, allowing Ukrainian forces to prepare for deeper penetrations into Russian-held territory.
Єбать, та їх там дохуя на.
Хуй я знаю, сам.
Такі залупи ще не було.
The second phase exploited this momentum with a rapid advance beyond Kalinivsky into Novomykolaievka, with confirmed Ukrainian presence in the southern part of the village. And Ukrainian units continuing to push further south toward Novoivanivka, extending their reach and creating a cascading effect across the defensive line. This maneuver effectively outflanked several Russian positions, putting them at risk of encirclement. Simultaneously, Ukrainian troops opened another axis of pressure by advancing into Novorihorivka. This phase demonstrated a high level of coordination between mechanized assault groups and drone units.
Бля, їх там троє.
Fighting in the village quickly turned into intense close-quarters combat, with Ukrainian infantry systematically clearing buildings one by one.
Укриття! Укриття!
Drone reconnaissance identified Russian positions, while FPV drones targeted fortified houses, forcing defenders out into the open, where they were either captured or eliminated. Footage from the area confirmed Ukrainian infantry fighting vehicles operating inside the settlement, signaling not just raids but sustained control efforts.
Я!
Ще один.
Є контакт! Коли готові, ви стріляєте, і вони убігають.
Despite Russian attempts to reinforce the area, Ukrainian forces prevented that with drone strikes, maintained tempo, and continued expanding their presence. Their advance continued, with additional footage showing Ukrainian troops moving between Novorihorivka and Novoivanivka, indicating further territorial gains.
Де нам зайняти позицію? Давай!
This progression has placed significant pressure on the nearby Russian-held hub of Uspanivka, which serves as a logistical and command center for Russian operations in the sector.
Так, в мене 4, 5 магазинів залишилося.
By threatening it, Ukrainian forces are undermining the broader structure of Russian defenses, while continuous search and strike operations along the line.
Кубік! Уліво!
And have targeted Russian infantry concentrations and shelters, particularly east of Novomykolaievka and south of Novorihorivka. Russian attempts to infiltrate through gray zones have repeatedly failed, suggesting a loss of tactical flexibility and confirming that the tide has indeed turned in Ukraine's favor.
Братан, целься через прицел, охуенно.
Да я туда дальше кинул, блядь, чтоб по улице, ты понял, блядь?
Ага.
Там, сука, где-то по улице сидят, нахуй.
Taken together, these developments illustrate how Ukrainian forces are no longer limited to defensive containment, but are actively dictating the tempo of operations.
Бля, немцы, сука, по ноге попали. Пидорасы.
This resulted in Ukrainian forces reclaiming approximately 450 square kilometers of territory, marking the first time since the Kursk operations that Kyiv has outpaced Russian advances.
Давай, давай, давай.
The speed of this transition from localized clearing to deeper offensive action highlights how Ukrainian forces are increasingly capable of converting tactical gains into more decisive breakthroughs. Overall, the significance of this shift goes beyond territorial gains, as it demonstrates that Ukrainian forces can absorb pressure, stabilize the front, and then transition into coordinated counteroffensives that achieve substantial results.